Welcome, patrons. This is something I get requests for all the time, like maybe once or twice a month. It's maybe even more than that. I've been putting it off because there just isn't that much to say on it, but at this point, the amount of requests just outweighs all of that. So, by popular vote, let's talk about Ameridan. Before the Inquisition, we know that he was from the Dales and came from the clan Ghislaine. And that's about it for hard facts, really. We can assume a few things based on what he says, though. He mentions that before he was to lead the Inquisition, he was a demon hunter, and a good one. Cut to this weapon, the Dal Valasan, only found in the Jaws of Hakon DLC, which I don't believe is a coincidence. It describes that the Dales had a group within the Emerald Knights devoted to hunting down demons and maleficarium, which they called the Fade Hunters. We don't know if Ameridan was one such hunter, but it's possible as the job matches his description of it, and he is a man devoted to his nation. Ameridan also describes Emperor Drakon as his oldest friend, a friendship so tight that he believed the Emperor would have sent someone to find him. To me, this means that the two knew each other very early on, almost certainly before he joined the Inquisition, and perhaps even being childhood friends. Ameridan also has unique religious beliefs, believing in both the Maker and Andraste and the Elven creators. If we want to get technical, the two don't technically disagree with one another. To Ameridan, the Maker was just another god alongside the Elven ones. Perhaps he even believed that the Maker was god of those gods, but we don't really know. But the idea of raising a mortal Andraste into something more isn't unusual for the Dalish, who believe that Andrul raised up Gilinan. Which, isn't that weird? Ameridan seems to favor Gilinan, even placing statues representing her in the hands of Andraste. And it's also his namesake for the clan he was in. I think this also speaks of an interesting character trait for Ameridan. Instead of seeing the differences in things, he sees similarities. Even when you meet him, he tries to find similarities in you, and I think this dictated a lot of what he believed. The Inquisition. Ameridan describes that he never wanted to get into politics, that he just wanted to stay being a hunter. We don't know if his position in the Inquisition was his first foray into politics, but he was asked to lead the organization by Emperor Drakon. The Inquisition had just joined the Chantry, and Drakon wanted a leader that showed a unified front, two men who are devout to the Chantry. History tells us that Ameridan was the one to help sign the Navarran Accord and bring the Inquisition to an end, splitting off the organization into the Templar Order and the Seekers of Truth. After the signing, he became the commander of the Seekers of Truth, although he never had taken the rights. From talking with him, we find out that he knew of the Rite of Tranquility by practice, but not by name, describing it as a momentary state when becoming a Seeker. When he learns that the rite has become a punishment, he is disgusted, remembering that he told the Seekers not to use it as such, and that he was promised it never would be. Around the time of the signing of the Accord, the Second Blight started to rise and threaten Orlais. But not only that, the Jaws of Hakon bind the spirit known as Hakon into a high dragon and begin to march towards Orlais. Drakon, at his wit's end, calls on his friend Ameridan to help defeat the Avar. In his memories, Ameridan describes that his brothers in the Dales, which I think this likely means his fellow elves and not his literal brothers, wanted to see Orlais and the humans suffer the blight. Ameridan, on the other hand, had the opinion that the humans weren't that bad and allying with them was the best hope they had. But despite all of that and wanting to stay and help guide the country of the Dales, he goes and helps Drakon. And here's where we begin the plot of Jaws of Hakon. Ameridan takes his lover Talana, despite not really wanting for her to go for her safety, but she demanded to go, a Templar named Heron, and a Dwarven alchemist named Orrinna. And together they fight the Avar. He also describes at one point having a spirit companion that helps him figure out magical techniques, but we have nothing else on that. We aren't sure if these are new friends or old friends of his, minus Talana, as it seems they are in a long-term relationship. But he does describe that he loves traveling with them and would be lost without them. We do know how Orrinna met Ameridan as well. Shaper Documents tells us that she was of the warrior caste betrothed to another. She met Ameridan when he went into the deep roads to fight demons and wished to know how the dwarves do it. Orrinna had a gift for developing unique ways of fighting demons without the use of magic that Ameridan found interesting, and the two apparently got along so well, she soon left for the surface, much to the dismay of her family. We know little of Heron, other than he was a Templar in lyrium withdrawal, and Orrinna used to fight with him over taking the substance to fight demons. You can find his diary in Jaws of Hakon describing his troubles of taking lyrium and a relationship with the others, and despite fighting with Orinna, he loved her bad jokes. A poem also exists that he and Ameridan fought a demon wolf together, and they still argue over who actually killed it. For Talana, I'll go over that in a bit. Eventually, the four split apart. Heron and Orinna fight side by side, drawing the armies of the Jaws of Hakon away, while Talana and Ameridan go to fight the dragon. Ameridan told Heron and Orinna to bring reinforcements, but none came, and so the two had to fight alone. The Avar would eventually build a monument honoring their sacrifice. Ameridan and Talana didn't have much success either. Their idea was that they wanted to draw the battle to an icy old Tevinter fortress, and realized way too late that the Tevinter fortress was actually the base of the Jaws of Hakon. During battle, they realized that it was much too much for them, and so the plan changed. Ameridan would freeze the dragon in time with him, and Olanna would escape and return with more people. But she was injured and died on a small island thinking only of Ameridan. Despite what the Inquisitor actually says to him, Emperor Draken did look for Ameridan, but was unable to find him. Time passed, and likely after the Dales were destroyed and the Divine ordered all elves from Chantry records completely erased, he was made into a human nobleman, not even a mage. In our Legion family with the last name of de Amerid, I think that's how it's pronounced, claimed him as one of their own as well. And then Ameridan stayed there, frozen in time, until your Inquisitor came to find him. Time eventually catches up with him, and he dies, almost 800 years later. In the aftermath, your Inquisitor can either tell the truth of Ameridan, angering a long line of nobles who probably honestly do think they're related to the man, or keeping the lie. If you do choose to tell the truth and make the Legion family pay money that they have profited on by Ameridan's name, Keeper Lavinia Ghislaine sends a letter of thanks. Talana. A bonus for the episode, but let's talk about Talana for a second. Talana is special in that she's a dreamer, a unique mage able to walk the Fade easily. She's also an elf and devoted to Ameridan, a devotion so strong a spirit was attracted to her emotions and took on a part of her personality. But that's not what I want to talk about. During one of Ameridan's memories, he mentions that her full name in Elven is Talana Das, meaning nothing is inevitable. Now, this was pretty big in the Dragon Age community when it came out because of a fan theory. In Here Lies the Abyss, the Nightmare Demon will talk to your companions and berate them. Here is what he says to Solas, and Solas' reply.
Döth ma herelan, ma banal inasalin, mar solas ina mardin.
Bonal nadas.
For the longest times, fans translated it as such. Tell me, Trickster, did your pride amount to anything? Your pride will be your death. And Solas saying, nothing is inevitable. I don't have a good source on who was the first to translate it this way, although I think this particular verbiage is from Geek Remix, but it's been posted and reposted so many times I can't be super certain. But overall, I've seen various people come up with the same conclusion that Banal Nadas is nothing is inevitable. But regardless of what you believe, Talana's entire name is just to tell the fans that they got it wrong, down to using the specific phrase that was most used in fan theories. So as a side note, then what did Solas actually say? Well, for one, Banal used to be translated by fans as being nothing, but after Trespasser, a codex came out that translated it as never, so that's kind of been the now accepted version of what that means. So at the moment, I'm thinking it means that will never be or must never happen, but even that is debatable. I've heard some people translating it as basically saying shut up as well. Really, all that we know is that banal has meanings close to never, and nadas is something along the lines of must or something that must be. After that, you can come up with whatever you want. We don't know. Have fun! And that, dear patrons, is all that we know of Ameridan. Sorry this video is late because it's been so crazy over here, but that's another thing. If you still have lingering questions, proof that I'm wrong, comments about your own fan theory, feel free to tweet me at @Gilderthon on Twitter or send a PM to user Gilanon on Reddit. Duress Sherall. Anyway, do you still have lingering questions, proof that I'm long? Long? What the... Proof that I'm wrong? I mean, if you know that I'm long. Oh, that doesn't sound right, does it?